spring and its sounds. Annual sounds, not just reserved for the crack of a bat. They include the sound bites of hope.
Well, there's more talent on the field.
Of expectation.
Everybody knows the expectations are as high as they've ever been here.
As common as the pop of a mitt. But in 2012, those sounds are different from the Royals.
Fans should be excited with the fact that we got players that can play, we got pitchers that can win.
More confident.
This group's used to winning, and we've won at almost every level now in the minor leagues.
Sounds of expectation that haven't been heard in years around Kansas City.
Expectations of our ball club this year is to win a World Series.
Sounds based on the promise of youth and its talents having already been realized.
The Royals do a great job of recognizing talent and putting together a great puzzle.
Sounds that turn the hope of spring into the victories of summer, into the titles of fall.
I think we have just as good a shot as anybody.
Coming up, a Royals report presented by your Casey Chevy dealers on the most anticipated Royals season in years.
All it comes down to now is us going out and playing the game for the right reason, which is to win a championship.
Sounds good.
Hello and welcome to the Royals Report on Time Warner Cable's Metro Sports. Alongside Mick, Shaffer, I am Brad Porter. We're here in beautiful Surprise, Arizona, getting ready for Royals Baseball 2012.
Yeah, coming up in this hour, you'll learn all about the 2012 version of your Kansas City Royals as we are here in sunny Surprise, Arizona for the 10th straight year. And Brad, maybe the most anticipated year coming up in 2012.
Yeah, it seems like it's been 2.5 decades since this team has been competitive. When we talk to the players, the coaches, and the front office, they're excited about the potential for this team. And you read the publications like Baseball America, they say not only is it the youngest team in baseball, maybe one of the most talented.
The question is kind of answered for itself. It's like everybody knows the expectations are as high as they've ever been here.
Might seem kind of strange for a team that lost 91 games a year ago to be talking about expectations. But a bumper crop of young stars mixed with experienced veterans as the Royals doing just that.
I think if you just look around, we actually have the talent to win. I think you can go into spring training and look at different teams and say, well, they can talk a big game or this, but at the end of the day, they don't have the horses.
We feel like we have a good group, and we're all motivated, and we know what our ability can take, where our ability can take us.
Expectations of our ball club this year is to win a World Series. There's no other reason why we're on the field other than to go win a ring.
Kansas City finished 20 games under 500 and 24 games out of first place in the AL Central in 2011. But with the division being down and the Royals being up, Kansas City expects to tangle with the Tigers in 2012.
I'm not saying that we're going to. I mean, if any team says, oh, if it all works out, there's going to be a title under our belt. But Detroit's going to be a tough team to beat. You have to go through them. But I think after Detroit, if anybody's going to challenge them, I think we have just as good a shot as anybody.
I'm not guaranteeing anything, wins or losses wise, but I know I can guarantee that the Royals are coming with it this year. And that's an exciting thing. We have a lot of talent. We have more talent than I've seen in a long time. I mean, I'm still a young buck, but I've been watching a lot of baseball my whole life, and we're really good.
What gives these kids so much confidence is the fact they've won at every level.
Ever since low A, it seemed so far away then, but having everything come to fruition now was something that we just all shot for, and we're glad to see it happen.
The last couple of years, the minor leagues were fortunate enough to win in AA and AAA, and I think the championship mentality, is coming on up to Kansas City.
Of course, some of the things the Royals did in 2011 give them confidence to have expectations for 2012. Alex Gordon blossomed in left field and leading off last year. He was rewarded with a Gold Glove and had his best season at the plate. First baseman Erik, who was called up in May, finished third in the voting for the American League Rookie of the Year. And Aaron Crow, working out of the bullpen, was named to the American League All-Star team as a rookie.
Pleased to be joined now by Royals General Manager Dayton Moore here in Surprise, Arizona. How many camps, how many spring trainings is this for you in your career?
I think it's 16 for me.
16?
Yeah, I think it's my 18th year in professional baseball and my 16th in Major League spring training.
When did you know that, okay, this is me, this is what I want to do?
Well, when I was a little boy, I wanted to be in baseball as long as I could, certainly, and you want to play as long as you can, and then I wanted to coach. I never really wanted to scout, but was given some opportunities, and after turning a couple opportunities down, the third one was the Braves, and I was going to do it just for 4 years, and get back into college coaching, and then I was fortunate to do other things in the game and be around some very good people, and winning helps too. And we won a lot, and it kept you going. So it's awesome to be in the game.
Being a general manager, everybody wants to be that. Everybody wants to assemble their own team. You get to live that out day in and day out. What are the trials and tribulations like? Is it like all us fans at home thinking of the fantasy baseball type?
You know what? It's very similar, just to sitting around talking baseball. That's what you do, and we're fortunate to have a lot of very gifted people. We have a wide range of experience levels and guys from different cultures. There's a lot of diversity amongst our people, and so you just sit around and talk baseball, ask questions similar to what you do and everybody else does, and the common ingredient is everybody's very passionate about winning and doing something special here in Kansas City. I mean, athletics is about competition, and one of the things that it's attracted us to this great opportunity here in Kansas City is the competition aspect of it, and doing something that perhaps most people don't believe we can do, and that's been a great challenge for us. And I'm very, very excited about the fact that we're now raising a new generation of Royals fans that are identifying with our young players, and these young players are going to be here for a while.
What's the makeup of this team? How would you characterize it?
Well, I think the makeup is strong as far as chemistry standpoint. These guys believe in each other. They've played with each other all through the minor leagues. They've won together at the minor leagues. They have a comfort level with our coaching staff, our front office. That's very, very important. Comfort, and don't miss what I'm saying. Just because guys doesn't mean they're content, but they're comfortable to the point where they can play fearless and be aggressive and know that what our opinions are of them, and they have that comfort level that to go out and just play to win every night.
So is that the difference then? Because they've been down here in Surprise for the last 10 years, and there's been a lot of springs that there's been hope, there's been expectations. Everybody said the right thing. What's the difference for 2012 to where it actually will come to fruition?
Well, there's more talent. It's
easy enough, huh?
There's more talent on the field. I mean, when you look at the young players that we have, will they produce? Well, we'll see. I mean, they haven't proven that they can produce over 162 games yet. I mean, the second half of last year, our run differential was a +15. That's a very positive sign. Our starting rotation was trending upward. That's a very positive sign. Certainly, as I said before, they're young and they're talented, and the only thing that we can really control is going to be, or all of us control, is our effort and our focus, our concentration, and our attitude day in and day out to play and excel in this game. That's really all we can do. And so I like the mindset of these young players. They're still growing, obviously, and they're very talented.
So much more to come on the Royals Report presented by your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Like, oh yeah, just who comprises this team? From the heart of the order, chock full of first-round picks, to a bullpen capable of shortening any game. We look at the roster next.
This Time Warner Cable Metro Sports program is brought to you by your Kansas City area Chevy dealers, proud and official sponsors of the Kansas City Royals. To learn more, visit kcchevydealers.com.
Welcome back to the Royals Report, once again in Surprise, Arizona.
With Brad Porter, I am Mick Shaffer. You know, people forget that last season in 2011, this was the Royals offense that was one of the better hitting teams in the American League. They hit for average, they hit for some power, they have speed up and down the lineup. Certainly a good omen heading into 2012.
And not only is it a collection of young players with big expectations we've been reading about for the last couple of years, they're also mixed in with the veterans to make for a pretty solid lineup.
One thing the Royals are not worried about is their starting lineup.
There's not much competition for us. There is per se, because there's always competition, but you can pretty much look around and say, you may know, starting lineup's pretty much set.
A big strength for Kansas City last season was the outfield. Offensively, Alex Gordon had a career year, and Jeff Francoeur rediscovered his bat. Defensively, they gunned down runners at a record clip. Gordon won a Gold Glove. Now add to the mix is center fielder Lorenzo Cain, who came to Kansas City in the Zach Greinke trade.
They did a really, really good job out there, you know. Probably one of the best outfields in MLB last year. But like I said, I'm just trying to add to it, improve, and just be consistent out there.
You know, speed-wise, defensively, he's probably going to be better than Melky. Obviously, 201 hits is a heck of a lot to replace from what he brought offensively. But, you know, I think we're just going to go tell Lorenzo to be himself.
We believe defensively it will get better. I think it's already better, and that's regardless if we have the assists that we had last year. And I think that should decrease, because I think base runners are not going to look to take the extra base as much.
The corner infield spots are anchored by first baseman Erik and third baseman Mike Moustakas. Both made their major league debuts a season ago, with Hosmer getting votes for Rookie of the Year.
There was one thing I remember when Ned called me in the office and told me I was going down. He told me this was the last time he hoped he'd ever have to cut me from spring training, and that really motivated me to go out and work hard. And went out in Omaha that first year and had a good year, and now it's year 2, and just everything's been a blur to me so far.
Alcides Escobar developed into one of the top defensive shortstops in all of baseball. Now Johnny Giavotella, who debuted last year as well, is pushed to improve his defense to keep up.
I obviously realize that my defense isn't comparable to my offense, so I've been working on my defense, just polishing my skills, getting my footwork right around second base, and just softening my hands up.
If you guys would have seen Johnny his first year come and take ground balls right now, you'd be amazed. But Johnny's a guy who the coaches got to pull him off the field and tell him to stop working.
Of course, the Royals have heaped tons of praise on catcher Salvador Perez and stepped up by giving the rookie a 5-year contract after just 39 big league games.
That's to show how good he is, you know. You don't give a 21-year-old with 30 games under the belt, 39 games under the belt, like a 5-year deal, you know, with 3 team options. You know, the only guys that get that is like Evan Longoria, and he's like a franchise player, really great player.
He has a knack of getting to know a pitcher real quick, and that's important as a catcher. You have to be able to know what a pitcher can do, but more importantly, you've got to be able to know what he thinks he can do and what he can't do.
The Royals put up some pretty good offensive numbers in 2011. Kansas City led the American League with 41 triples, were second in the AL in doubles, third in hits, fourth in batting average, and fifth with over 700 RBIs.
With his legs crossed in sunny Surprise, Arizona, we're joined now by Billy Butler, Royals DH at first baseman. How you doing? Look, you're just sitting back. You're a grizzled veteran now. You know, this is just old hat for you.
Well, I don't know if it's sunny out, man. It's cold this morning.
Yeah. We brought the Kansas City weather with us, I think.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Well, at this point in your career, what do you look to do in spring training? What are you looking to get done, get ready for? Do you have an approach?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, just stay healthy. I mean, it's all about getting ready for April 6th here. Spring training numbers are great to have, but if it doesn't produce when April 6th starts, does it really mean anything? No, you just want to, you know, there's things you can go through adjustment periods in spring training where you're trying new things that may not benefit you in spring training, but when the season starts, you may be right on. So there's a lot of things that go in things. I wouldn't put too much stock in spring training numbers. Nobody should. And you know, it's just all about getting ready for April 6th. You're going to see, you may not see a ton of the starting lineup on the same field at the same time in spring training after, say, the first week or so. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, every guy gets ready different than the other one. I mean, for me personally, I don't need a tremendous amount of at-bats. I get a ton of at-bats during the season. So, I mean, I might get a little more bats towards the end of spring, getting ready. I mean, ultimately, I'll know when I'm ready.
It sounds like you do have it down, but the first thing you mentioned there was staying healthy, and you've stayed healthy your entire career. Is that due to an approach, or are you just some sort of Superman?
I mean, people look at it and say, oh, you play a non-taxiing position and everything like that, but you can look around the league and see a lot of DHs, a lot of first basemen that go down a lot. You know, I had a regimented off-season plan. I mean, you just, you know, it's luck for one. You have a durable body. I mean, there's things you can't be given. I mean, those things you're given, you're blessed with, and there's things that, you know, the ability and the compassion for the game and the absolute love for the game to play through a nagging injury. I mean, there's some guys that have it, there's some guys that don't. That's a talent, in my opinion, but, you know, I love the game so much. I'd rather, if I'm going to the field, I'm playing. So, I mean, there's going to have to be a couple people standing in front of me tell me I can't play, and that may not even work. So,
you
know,
get through them, huh?
Yeah.
Last year, you adjusted to a role of primarily a DH. How do you think you adjusted to that?
First half was very much adjusting. Second half, I figured out my system and I knew what it takes. And now this year, you know, whatever role that is, I mean, manager said I'm going to play a little more first base. You know, I'm happy about that, but, you know, I don't know how much more. I mean, that's obviously something that he's got to determine. But the reason for that is we're hopefully playing for October, and we'll need everybody healthy in September. So, days off for Haas, days off for guys in the outfield that can get a DH day, and you know, they can still get me in the lineup and stuff like that can pay dividends for us when if and when at some point we're making a championship run. I mean, you need everybody clicking at 100%, so you need to give them their days off and whenever they need it to keep their body fresh.
Lastly here, what about for you going into this season? I mean, the old baseball adage is if power goes up, then average has to slip and all that. Do you buy that in? Is that how it works for you? And do you set goals as far as RBIs and average and all that stuff?
The old statisticians haven't never suited up.
They haven't, yeah.
So the old human element's always a factor,
yeah.
And there's a good combination of both. Obviously, you're in the middle of the lineup, I'm driving balls. Extra base hits are the big thing. RBIs is the main goal. You're in the middle of the lineup, you have to drive it around.
That's what Hosmer said too.
That's RBIs. However that happens, if I have no home runs, I have 150 RBIs, I mean, it's hard to have a bad year. That means you're just driving in runs, you're getting guys in scoring position, you're getting set up. That's what you're supposed to do. That means the guys in front of me are doing the job now. You know, you're not gonna have 0 home runs. You have 150 RBIs, but that's not the goal either. I mean, the goal is to just drive in more than the other team does. That's the bottom line. I mean, you're wanting to score more than the other team on that given day. I mean, your role that day is dictated by when you come to the plate, who's on. Some days you don't get that opportunity, so you just have to maximize your opportunities. Hitting with runners in scoring position is a big one too. I mean, that's where clutch hitters come in. That's what you need on the team.
Well, the offense is the highlight maker, but it's baseball, so pitching is where games are won. On the docket next, the rotation and the bullpen. Can the addition of a couple of Johns help the Royals keep up with the Joneses on the mound? The Royals Report, presented by your Kansas City Chevy dealers, continues. Welcome back to the Royals Report here in Surprise, Arizona on Time Warner Cable Metro Sports. You know what they say, Brad? You can have all the big boppers in the lineup that you want, but in baseball, it comes down to pitching.
Yeah, it seems like the last couple of decades, the Royals have had some bad luck. They haven't put the waves together. They've got the hitting, they don't have the pitching, or they have the pitching, and they don't have the hitting.
We'll see if that comes together this year, because in 2012, both the bullpen and the starting rotation have undergone massive improvements. The starting five. A rotating quintet that is the lifeblood of any team.
You know, I've heard a lot that our weak point is our starting pitching, and we're trying to make that a thing of the past.
In 2011, the Royals rotation won the fewest games in the American League and had the second highest ERA in baseball. In steps Jonathan Sanchez with a no-hitter and a World Series experience under his belt to anchor the rotation. Luke Hochaver led the team in innings pitched last season and led the team, well, period.
I've been through about every ringer that you can be in the big leagues, you know? I've had good games, I've gotten my tail kicked. And so, you know, whatever those guys are walking through, you know, I've been there.
You know, I don't look up to too many people, I look up to Hoach. And I've learned a lot from him. And, you know, I try to carry myself like him as much as I can.
Danny Duffy was a rookie starter in 2011, going 4-8 with a 5.64 ERA. Struggles he learned from.
I feel like I've grown about 5 years in the last 6 months, you know, just looking back and reflecting on last season. I feel like, you know, a lot of people are saying it's my job to lose. I think it's my job to win. I need to go out there and pitch. I need to prove that I can be consistent, and I know I'm going to do that this spring training.
Of course, they all join Wins leader Bruce Chin, who re-signed with the Royals in the offseason.
I was able to sign early, like this is the earliest I've ever signed. And I was able to get a 2-year deal where, you know, I've never had a 2-year deal. So, I mean, I love it here.
There are plenty of other candidates to join the rotation, like Aaron Crow and Everett Teaford. But if that doesn't happen, they excelled in the bullpen in 2011, their rookie years.
Being a reliever is tough. Just being in the big leagues in general is tough. But going out there for 7 innings, facing some of the best hitters in the world, trying to get the same guys out 3 or 4 times in the same day, it's a challenge I think anybody would like to have if you're competitive.
Really, I'm not really worried about it too much. If they want me to start, fine. If they want me to go to the bullpen, fine. Wherever, as long as it's in Kansas City and I'm being productive to the team. That's all I care about.
Joakim Soria posted a career-high ERA and briefly lost his closing job last season, but this season he'll be joined in the back end of the bullpen by Greg Holland, who went 5-1 with 4 saves in 2011, and by closer Jonathan Broxton, signed from the Dodgers.
What it does give us the opportunity to Ned to be very aggressive with using the back end of our bullpen on multiple days, multiple outs, because he does have Broxton, who's done it before and done it quite well. He's been a 2-time All-Star as well. And Greg Holland is an exceptional pitcher for us at the back end as well. So it gives Ned a lot of options.
The Royals plan to break camp with a dozen pitchers on the 25-man roster, 12 that could hold the key to 2012. Jonathan Broxton will set up Soria working the 8th inning. He posted 36 saves in 2009, but missed the bulk of last season with an elbow injury. Jonathan Sanchez's no-hitter came in July of 2009 with the Giants. A year later, he was pitching San Francisco into the postseason, even getting a start in the World Series.
All right, here with Royals starter Luke Hochevar. How's spring going, Luke?
Going great. Going great. You know, everybody's excited to be in camp. I know that for sure. And you know, just getting the ball rolling, you know, getting our work every day and getting after it pretty good. So I know everybody in the clubhouse is chomping at the bit to get games started, and you know, I think we're sick of facing each other, but you know, everything has been going good thus far.
I don't know if your role has changed in terms of how you carry yourself around the team, but inevitably every player we've talked to so far, and it's been a lot. We ask them, you know, who they talk to, who they look for advice, who's a leader on this team. 2 guys, Luke Hochevar and Bruce Chen. Do you feel like it's a different role for you this year, or maybe taking a stepped-up role in terms of leadership?
You know, I mean, I don't sit back and say, you know, I want to be, you know, this or that. You know, I'm going to be myself. I am, but I'm going to care for my teammates, no doubt about it. If I can do anything, you know, on this team, other than, you know, being on the field, is maybe help some of those guys miss the speed bumps that I hit. You know, because the things that I've learned now, the things that I know now, yeah, granted, I wish I knew in my first 2 years in the big leagues, but you never know what you don't know until you know it. And so, you know, our clubhouse is packed full of young guys with talent, you know, and an eagerness to get better every day, you know, a desire to win. And so, you know, I just feel like if I can, you know, pour into them and help them miss some of the speed bumps that I hit along my path, the better we're going to be as a team, the better we're going to be as an organization.
So it sounds like maybe it's a product of experience in terms of the role. We talked to Danny Duffy a couple of days ago, and he said, you know, I watched some tape over the offseason, and everybody from the front office to the coaches to my teammates are there to help me, and he went through a rough patch that you were talking about last year.
Yeah, you know, I talked to Danny, you know, a little bit last year because you know, I see some of these guys come up, you know, like everybody's on Timmy Collins right now about his walks. I remember my first 2 months in the big leagues, I had just as many walks as I did strikeouts. Timmy had better than that, you know. But there's, you know, it's different pitching in the big leagues. You know, they all say, you know, AA to AAA is the biggest jump in baseball, or I mean A-ball to AA, which is absolutely false. It's anywhere in the minor leagues to the big leagues, because it's a completely different level. And so I went through those same adjustments. I went through the exact same thing that Timmy did. I went through the exact same thing that Duffy did. And so, you know, I see all these things, you know, that exact same situations that I went through. And so with Danny, you know, I talked with Danny a lot last year and let him know, you know, because it's real easy to get down on yourself, you know, especially in the big leagues when you're under a microscope. And so, you know, I just reached out to him and let him know, hey, bud, I was there too. You know, I did the exact same thing. You know, I went through this learning curve the same way you are right now. You're going to be great. You have great stuff. You have great makeup, and you love to compete. You know, you're going to get through it. And so, yeah, if I can just help, you know, miss a speed bump or two, you know, I'm more than happy.
Those teams had speed bumps, but I think there's a different feeling this year, whether it's in the clubhouse, a positive attitude. The fans are excited. They think this is a pretty good ball club, and the front office feels confident that they've developed the talent to make this club competitive. Is it a little different? Are there good times ahead for this ball club?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, all the right pieces are in place. All it comes down to now is us going out and playing the game for the right reason, which is to win a championship. We get everybody in that clubhouse on the same side of the rope. There's no telling what can happen. You know, you look at the 2008 Tampa Bay Rays, I think. You know, the transformation that they took. They went from, you know, last in the division to winning it and going to a World Series. And I feel like we have the right pieces in place. Our team chemistry is huge this year. I feel like everybody clicks, everybody's on the same page, everybody's pulling for each other. And I think, you know, especially with Ned at the top, who gets everybody on the same side of that rope. I think if we can do that all year, it's going to be exciting. It really is. And I think I can speak for everybody in that clubhouse that we expect to win.
And when you're standing there on that mound, look over to your left and you see Erik Hosmer, look over there, it's Mike Moustakas, Gio, and Escobar behind you, and the outfield in the year they had last year. I mean, for a pitcher in particular, that's got to feel great.
No doubt. Hit it.
So put it in play. So the pitchers this year, you not just put it in play?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, last year we had the best outfield in the big leagues, you know, and then our infield was dramatically improved. You know, our range defense in the infield is phenomenal. So I mean, yeah, as a pitcher, I'm going to go after this guy with everything that I got, and go ahead and hit it. You know, I mean, keeps our pitch count down. You know, takes you don't get in jams where you got to start trying to make perfect pitches. You just be aggressive and go right after them. And so, yeah, it does take some off. You know, when you have a defense like that behind you, it makes it a lot of fun.
Up next, you might know them as Haas, Moose, and Gio. We'll talk to Kansas City's young stars. That's next on the Royals Report, presented by your Kansas City area Chevy dealers.
This Time Warner Cable Metro Sports program is brought to you by your Kansas City area Chevy dealers, proud and official sponsors of the Kansas City Royals. To learn more, visit kcchevydealers.com.
We're back here on the Royals Report in sunny Surprise, Arizona. Brad, you know, a few years ago, they had Billy Butler and Alex Gordon, two former first-round draft picks that they brought up to this team together, and they've been linked ever since.
Yeah, the Royals have done a great job of drafting and developing talent. Now they've got another couple of stars coming up together in Erik Hosmer and Mike Moustakas.
Yeah, in 2011, Hosmer started hot and stayed hot. Moustakas struggled early and turned it on late, but in 2012, these two linked together are sophomores.
They're the new faces of the Royals. Just the face, not the hairdos.
Honestly, I think it's pure laziness. We're just...
Much like Alex Gordon and Billy Butler a few years before them, Erik Hosmer and Mike Moustakas are back-to-back Royals first-round picks who came up together and will always be linked together.
You spend more time with these guys than you do your own family, so, I mean, they become your brothers.
Their rookie seasons happened together, but weren't exactly identical, as Hosmer made his debut in May and immediately produced as the Royals' everyday first baseman, finishing with 19 home runs, 78 RBIs, and a .293 average.
Last year, just coming in, not really knowing any of the guys, and just wanting to see what it was like, really, and just open for the experience.
Moustakas debuted in June, struggled through July, but rebounded to hit .352 in September.
You know, that's baseball. You know, baseball, you go through slumps, you go through those times where you're not hitting the ball good.
He didn't change at all. He was coming and being the same Moose every day, just having a good time at the field and just trying to help the team win as much as he can.
I was fortunate enough to be on such a great team with such great teammates and such great coaching and such great front office where they believed in me and they trusted in me and they knew that I was going to eventually get through it.
But with their rookie seasons out of the way, these two close friends manning the corners of the infield and filling the middle of the lineup are approaching 2012 differently than last year.
Now, I've been here a little bit, I've gotten my feet wet, and now I kind of know what to expect and what to do, you know.
It's going to be some more challenges that we'll face this year and some more adversity, but it's the guys that overcome that and stay you know, mentally focused on what the goal is that will overcome it.
Yeah, the Royals have a new face, a very fresh, very young face.
It makes it a little more special when those guys get called up and when you get called up and you get to see the guys that you were playing with in the minor leagues.
We know what our ability can take, where our ability can take us, and we feel like if we believe in each other, we got a chance to do this.
Notable Royals who made their Major League debuts in 2011. Aaron Crow made the team out of spring training, became an All-Star. Danny Duffy got 20 starts. The Royals really like Kelvin Herrera, and if Johnny Giovatella's defense can catch up to his offense, he'll become an All-Star as well.
Here are the Royals second baseman Johnny Giovatella, and the fans in Kansas City may still be learning how to spell your name, but everybody knows it now. It was kind of a fun experience watching you come up last year.
Yeah, it was a great experience. That first weekend in Kansas City was unbelievable. My family and friends, they watched me play on my Major League debut, and the fans couldn't have been more supportive, welcomed me with open arms, so it was just an incredible experience in my life.
I know we were watching the games on TV. You mentioned your family was in town. I think they were on TV more than you were that first series.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of family and friends from back home were calling my parents, talking about seeing them on TV and seeing their expressions after my hit was awesome. It was a special moment.
You kind of talk about that moment. You had a lot of guys have that kind of moment last year with Erik Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, and yourself. Kind of talk about that shared experience that you all went through last year.
It was unbelievable seeing guys get called up that have been playing with for so many years in the minor leagues, and finally when I got called up, it was just a joyous occasion when I got to Kansas City. Moose and Haas were there, giving me big hugs. So it was a dream come true for all of us to see every one of us accomplish our dreams.
Did you have a feeling when you guys are coming up? You guys had so much success at every level in the minor leagues, individually and as a team. Did you have an idea maybe a couple of years ago that you guys might get all to the big leagues together and do it there too?
That was the plan ever since low A. I mean, it seemed so far away then, but having everything come to fruition now was something that we just all shot for, and we're glad to see it happen.
All the guys that we've talked to not only compliment their teammates, but they talk about the manager, Ned Yost, they talk about the front office. Everybody mentions every part of this team. What is it about the organization that they've been able to do to identify guys like you and develop guys like you into what could be a winning baseball team?
Well, the Royals do a great job of recognizing talent and putting together a great puzzle. We're all pieces of this puzzle, and we all bring different attributes and different personalities to the team, and we come together as a great family.
You expect to win?
We definitely expect to win. We won in the minor leagues. We have that same winning mentality every year, no matter where we're at, and then we're going to bring the same enthusiasm to this year in Kansas City, hopefully.
I know players always expect to win, but in Kansas City, in terms of the fan base, they haven't had expectations for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And if you read Twitter, social media, the internet and things like that, there are expectations. There are fans that really think this team can be something pretty good.
And they should have expectations. We're going to put together a great ball club. We're going to come to the field ready to compete every day, and we expect big things out of ourselves as well as the fans.
2011 saw the debuts of several young Royals stars, and there might just be another wave on the way. That's next on the Royals Report, presented by your Kansas City area Chevy dealers.
Welcome back once again to the Royals Report on Time Warner Cable's Metro Sports. Alongside Mick Shaffer, I'm Brad Porter.
You know, Brad, this time last year we were looking ahead to the Major League debuts of an Erik Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Johnny Giovatella, and so many other guys. And that happened in 2011. But guess what? Don't fret, there's more to look forward to in 2012.
Yeah, despite the fact that all that talent made its way to Kansas City, Baseball America still rates the Royals as having the #1 farm system in all of baseball, which means there's a next wave coming up next.
Last season, Kansas City saw Erik Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Salvador Perez, and more make their Major League debuts. But the development doesn't end, and there's always a next wave.
I try to slide over to the other side and watch the Chris Colognes and the Bubba Starlings and all the kids that are over there are the next wave, so to speak.
When we move forward and continue to put our team together, we really need 2 to 3 players every year out of our farm system competing for spots on our 25-man roster.
We don't look at it as a major league club, a minor league club. We look at it as one organization.
2012 could see the arrival of outfielder Will Myers and pitchers Mike Montgomery and Jake Odorizzi, as well as others. They know they're being watched closely.
I've had it since I signed, so I mean I'm kind of used to it by now. Yeah, everyone's a prospect until they make it to the major leagues or they fail. So I want to be the one. I want to get to the major leagues, and all the prospect stuff's nice and great, but it's just the hard work you put into it.
Though they're well known in baseball circles and want to be in the big leagues soon, none seem overly focused on the when.
It's just one of those things where I try not to think about too much because I know if I just kind of try to take care of my business you know, things will work out. And it's one of those things where you start thinking about, you start to lose track of where you're at the present time.
My first year, I tried to project when I was going to be places and all that, and it kind of hurt me. You know, I tried to do too much. Now I'm just going to go out there this year and try to do my best and get better every day and see what happens. This is a big year. I think this is one where I can try to put it all together and accomplish the goal of getting to the majors. And I think, you know, if I have a good season sometime or another, hopefully I'll get called up and have that chance and try to be able to stay up there for a while.
Well, he's still got the old Gardner Edgerton colors. Bubba Starling joins us here in Surprise. You look good in the blue and white. That suits you, I guess, huh?
Fits me well.
Yeah, you got the whole uniform on and everything. Get number 15?
15, yep.
Okay, you know, we stick with that then? It's a good Kansas City number.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad number. I like it. You know, Mike McFarland, you know, been a lot of people wearing it.
So you've been down in Arizona quite a bit over the last several months. You're now playing baseball professionally for a living. How does that sound?
You know, it still hasn't sunk in yet. You know, getting to play baseball for a job. A lot of kids, you know, want to be professional athletes. You know, that's their dream when they're younger. And getting to fulfill my dream is pretty special.
A lot of these guys, you know, you talk Moustakas, Hosmer, they're from warm weather climates. They've been playing baseball year round for a lot of years. You're a multi-sport athlete from Kansas City where it get kind of cold. You haven't done this before. What's it been like playing this much ball?
I actually love it. I've never been, you know, I feel like I'm really prepared for the upcoming spring training. I've never been this prepared because, like you said, I've had to play one sport and then go to the next, and I can't concentrate on that one. And just getting to be around all the guys, you know, they've helped me out, the instructors, I feel like I've gotten a lot better.
You missing basketball season at all? You getting any organized hoop games going on?
I missed it a little bit. Yeah, I actually went back to Kansas City a few weeks ago and watched my high school team play, and definitely miss it, but I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah. Let's talk about your development so far. It's been a few months. Give us one thing or a couple things that you're improved on now, or that you know now that you didn't a year ago in high school.
Definitely worked on my swing quite a bit in the off season. In Kansas City, actually, with Jeremy Jones, building champions. You know, I've trying to get my legs a lot more, generate some more power, and I've gained 10 pounds. I don't know if you can tell.
Okay, you are putting some weight on.
But,
Is that where it's going?
No. But no, just, you know, I've working hard on all different kinds of things, just trying to get better, like I said.
What is it? Is it the weight gain? Is that by design? Or is there a certain weight you're trying to get to?
You know, I was at 205 once I signed, and I'm up to 215 now. So definitely wanted to get some power in my legs, and, you know, in the off season work a lot on my legs. I don't know if it shows too much, but, you know, definitely want to generate some more power.
It's not slowing you down yet, is it?
No, trying to keep my speed too.
Just a running fast.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right. As far as destinations go, coming out of spring, do you have any idea where you're going to be going? End of March, early April, where your career is going to start off?
I have no idea. I'm really anxious to see where I'm going to be. You know, I've hung out with a lot of guys that's either played in, you know, Idaho Falls, Kane County, you know, Burlington, you know, wherever it's at. And you know, wherever I end up going, you know, I'm gonna be happy just because I'm ready to start playing games and all. But probably just depends how spring training goes.
All right. So for your first full year in professional baseball, have you set goals as far as numbers go, as far as where you're going to play, what you want to do? Anything looking forward?
You know, I've tried, you know, that's the one thing you can't do. Try not to think too much, just go out and play, work hard. And that's basically what I'm trying to do, and get better at the same time, and be a good teammate.
Are you expecting some ups and downs? Because there have been some really good players that they start off wherever they start off, and they get to a certain level, whether it's high A, wherever it's at, and they've struggled. They've gotten through it, but there are some tough times.
No, that's just part of baseball. I mean, you know, you're going to struggle, you're going to be successful here and there. Just try to keep that straight line, you know, and be pretty successful.
You have that personality, even keel. I mean, we've seen you fiery with football and everything, but you feel like you have that even keel baseball personality?
I mean, during instructs, you know, I wasn't quite used to, you know, failing as much because I did fail quite a bit during the instructional league. And, you know, a lot of the coaches, a lot of people out here have taught me, you know, quite a bit about, you know, failing, you know, keeping that straight line. You know, you go 4 for 4 one day, tomorrow's a new day, you go 0 for 4. Just got to move on to the next day, you know. It's baseball, you're going to fail.
Still to come, you want to talk about youth? Stay with us to check out all the age records Salvador Perez will be setting. The Royals' young catcher is plenty green, but he's locked up in blue for a long time. The Royals Report, presented by your Kansas City Chevy dealers, continues here on Time Warner Cable.
This Time Warner Cable Metro Sports program is brought to you by your Kansas City area Chevy dealers, proud and official sponsors of the Kansas City Royals. To learn more, visit KCChevyDealers.com.
Back here one last time on the Royals Report with Brad Porter. I am Mick Shaffer. You know, Brad, if there's been one player that's been raved about the most at this camp, it's been catcher Salvador Perez.
He's only played 4 weeks at the Major League level, and the Royals have already decided they're going to commit themselves to Salvador Perez for at least the next 5 years.
And he's got no bigger fan than his manager, Ned Yost, a former catcher who certainly knows talent at that position.
Salvador Perez is 21 years old and has played 39 Major League games. Yet the Royals had seen enough of him this spring to sign him up to a 5-year, $7 million deal.
There's a risk associated with this deal, there's no doubt about it. But when we look at that deal, we broke it down the following way. Worst case scenario, he's Yadier Molina the first 4 or 5 years of Yadier Molina's career. And best case scenario, he's potentially Brian McCann. He's been on all-star teams every single year, and an offensive catcher really can receive, really smart.
Quite the compliment from the general manager, but not as flattering as how Ned Yost, a former catcher, repeatedly gushes over the 6'3" Venezuelan backstop.
We've all been in this game a long time. We've seen 100 catchers come and go. I personally have not seen one with the talent and the ability that Sal has. Chino, our new bench coach, who's a phenomenal catching instructor, has seen one that was comparable and maybe a little bit better, and that was Pudge Rodriguez.
And just so you know, it's not a front office thing. Perez's biggest fans just might reside in the clubhouse.
No doubt about it. And I don't just say that because he's extremely talented, which he is. But every day the kid brings it. He works hard, he wants to get better. He puts the time in.
I mean, obviously everyone loved his defense and the way he can throw guys out. His arm is unbelievable. He's bad, that's what they say. He wasn't like as good as his defense, but last year he hit .330, and so obviously the guy can hit.
Usually you don't see a catcher that's equally as good defensively as he is offensively. I mean, that's rare.
So yeah, Kansas City loves Salvador Perez. The feeling's mutual.
I want to be there in Kansas City for like 20 years.
As you can see, Salvador Perez will be the youngest starting catcher in Major League Baseball by far this season. He'll be 21 when the season starts, 3 years younger than Buster Posey and Wilson Ramos. No other American League starting catcher is younger than 25. Perez is also the youngest player in Major League Baseball to be inked to a long-term deal.
All right, here with Royals manager Ned Yost. I got to tell you, the first day we got here, all everybody talked about was your young catcher, Salvador Perez. From the front office people to the coaches, even the media guys watching him, Salvador Perez. I know he only played 30 games last year, but why so high on Salvador?
His ability to call a game at a young age, his ability to have to be a leader on our club, his receiving, his aggressive blocking of balls in the dirt, his throwing, his athletic throwing, they're all as good as you want to find in a young catcher.
I think when he signed his contract the other day, he said something along the lines of you saw him after 2 days, you had a pretty good idea he was going to be pretty good. What did you see in those 2 days?
Well, I saw a kid that was very athletic, that could receive the ball very, very well. I watched him throw, and Major League average throwing to second base is too flat, all right? I have personally seen at times guys throw in the 192s, 193s. I've never seen anybody throw in the 1/8s. My whole time I've ever clocked somebody. And they kept telling me Salvador will throw in the 1/8s. I thought it was BS, to be honest with you. The first time I saw Sal throw, I had a clock. And I clocked it. I looked at it and it was 183. And I thought to myself, okay, Ned, you're not real proficient with this clock. You messed up somewhere. But I had 4 guys standing next to me that had clocks, and they were all 183, 184. So that was impressive right then and there. And I said, okay, this is a kid I got to really keep my eye on.
More broad strokes. Is there any better job in America than managing a team that's on the verge of being something pretty good?
No, it's fun, especially when they're young. When they're young and hungry, and want to learn and want to play hard, there's nothing that's that much fun. Everything, I mean, nothing else compares to it.
We talked to some of the young guys about the expectations. The fans back home are excited. They ask about it all the time. You're at the gas station, the grocery store. What do you think? They're excited about the Royals. And generally, when we talk to the young players, they've embraced it.
Yeah.
They like the expectations.
Well, they do. And but still, expectations, it's, you know, it's like everything else. You have to experience it. You have to live through it. And you have to deal with it, because it is a lot of pressure on a young player that's been up in the big leagues for half a year or a quarter of a year, or even 3/4 of a year, to come up and have such great expectations on them. You know, the city's dying for a winner. It's been a long, long time that they've been able to celebrate a winning team, and our players know that. It takes a special player that has special makeup that can handle those expectations, and these kids at a real young age will do it as well or better than anybody.
You mentioned it's a long time since we've seen a winner. I was in grade school when the Royals won a World Series. It was so much fun, but when you're on the verge, for you in particular, when you got a team that's pretty good, maybe back to the Milwaukee days when you see these young guys coming up, what's the vibe you get when you walk around and people approach you to talk about your baseball team?
It's excitement. You know, fans love to see young talented players come up, because they know that they're going to be able to observe, watch, and cheer for these players their entire career, or for the majority of their career. And when you see something special that's in the works, that's brewing, you see it, you know it. It's different than it's been in years past. And I think the fans see it, they're embracing it, they're excited about it, and you know, it's fun. It's fun to go to Starbucks and have fans excited about. It's fun driving down the street and somebody rolls down their window and wants to talk about 2 or 3 players when you're stopped at a red light. So there's a lot of excitement. It's a lot of fun. And you know, that's part of it. That's part of becoming a winner, is enjoying the fans' enthusiasm and going out and playing hard and winning games for them.
Royals manager Ned Yost, Mick, he knows about young talent coming from the Atlanta and the Milwaukee organizations. He is genuinely excited about this baseball team.
Well, and those players are genuinely confident about what this team can do in 2012, and that's great news for the Royals fans who have been jonesing for a winning season, some sort of contending season, for a long, long time.
It has been too long.
Yes, it has.
All right, that's the Royals Report on Time Warner Cable's Metro Sports in Surprise, Arizona. From Mick Shaffer, I'm Brad Porter. See you at the ballpark.